Anthony.
Anthony, okay. All right.
So, Anthony, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us why you're here, or anything like that?
Out for a walk on a Sunday afternoon.
Nice. It's a nice day, but it's really
It is.
windy.
Yep.
So, the question is, in your opinion, what's the purpose? What is the purpose of government?
Well, government ideally should make things better than they would be if we weren't cooperating with one another.
Okay.
So to make things better by cooperating with one another.
Okay. Can you give me an example of like what you mean by that?
For instance, if we all decide that a red light means stop and a green light means go, there will be fewer auto collisions.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. So I want to give you this. And first, do you recognize where that's from?
That's the preamble to the United States Constitution.
Yeah, that's impressive. A lot of people don't know.
First person who said that today.
So, do you want to go ahead and read it just from the middle column there?
Yeah.
Read the preamble. We had to memorize this in 5th grade.
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
So when you have a elected official, or even sometimes appointed, like police or sheriff, they're appointed, right? They take an oath to uphold and defend this, right?
Yes.
And the Constitution is a trust agreement. So we give to government some rights, abilities, powers to work on these 6 objectives, right? So my question to you is, right now, currently, is the government doing that?
To some extent, yes, and to some extent, no.
Okay. What's an example of a yes and a no?
Well, a recent example, there was a global pandemic, and the government supported the invention of effective vaccines and gave a lot of money to states and local governments and even individuals to mitigate the economic fallout. I think that was an example of promoting the general welfare. I think that a lot of times our courts do a good job of protecting people's rights, even though, even in circumstances where you've got rich, powerful people trying to do one thing and other people saying it's not right. A lot of times the courts do make the right decision and secure the blessings of liberty for people who wouldn't be able to get them through like force of arms if we were in a state of nature.
Okay, so those are examples of yes, government is doing that. What about, you said no? What is
let me
something
think.
that's no?
I think the recent abortion decisions are a good example of the courts and a lot of state legislatures and even local jurisdictions denying people the right to control their own bodies. So that would be a big current example of no.
Okay, so in some cases the courts are doing the right thing, in some cases the courts are doing the wrong thing, in your opinion? Okay. Any other examples or things that you want to say about that?
That's all that springs to mind right now.
Okay. Ultimately, whose responsibility is it to make sure government does that?
Um, well, that's that gentleman's there. Ultimately, it would be the voters' responsibility. Yeah,
The voters?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of like the responsibility is what, voting to elect new, or how is it their responsibility?
yeah. I mean, to number one, know what your elected representatives are doing. Uh, Communicate with them when there's something that you care about that's that is up in Congress or the state legislature or the board of supervisors or whatever, and to support candidates who are doing the right thing and oppose candidates who aren't.
Okay. Cool. That's all the questions that was part of the interview. Thanks for participating. Is
Sure.
there anything that you want to share, say, any thoughts, anything?
Well, I think it's really important for people to stay informed, and I think it's really good to decide on one or two or three issues that are most important to you, and to support non-governmental organizations that are aligned with your values, and to communicate with your elected representatives. It's not just about voting every 4 years.
Yeah.
It's about staying informed and participating.
Right on.
Exactly.
Thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
Sure thing.
So we're gonna have a
It's Anthony.
Anthony, oh yeah.
Yeah.